Ball first and 10 at the 12-yard line of the Seahawks. Sean goes right, has a cutback lane, and he does. He's across the 20, the 25, 30, 35, 40. Here he goes. Are they going to catch him? 40, 35, 30. Touchdown, Seahawks!
12, they're bringing the trophy home. Your Seahawks, Super Bowl 48 champions.
Holy catfish! Baldwin's going to throw back to Russell. He's got it! Touchdown! Seahawks! Are you kidding me?
Let's Hawk It Out with your hosts Kevin Porter and Rich Harris.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new episode of Let's Hawk It Out. Kevin Porter here, along as always with Rich Harris. What's up, buddy? I'm glad to be back for another episode.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back too. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties here, so hopefully I'm coming through okay. But yeah, good to be back on here and glad we could get the episode going. A little dysfunctional. I'm using my mic right here and using my speakers on my laptop. So hopefully it'll work out.
Technical difficulties or not, man, we're here and we're ready to go, dude. We're ready to talk about your Seattle Seahawks winning at home this past weekend, 20-10. Toppling the Arizona Cardinals. Rich, what was your immediate reaction to Sunday's win?
Oh, man, I was excited the whole way through, and I'm very happy that we won, and I'm especially happy that the 49ers lost as well. So that gives us a little bit of a jump and lets them come back a little bit. Gives us a chance to get closer to them. So very exciting in that respect. And it was a really good game back and forth. I thought it was... I don't know. I wish I was at that one, but we're going to the next one, and we really couldn't see ourselves going to two back-to-back next week.
It's definitely a lot when it comes to traveling over the pass, man, because like you're committing yourself to like an all-day event. So definitely completely understand not wanting to make that trip 2 weeks in a row. But jumping into last Sunday's game, though, Rich, I, again, felt that our defense really stepped it up. I mean, we held the Cardinals to 10 points. They barely got a touchdown with Joseph Dodd, I believe his name was. I may be wrong on that. I know I got the last name. I got the last name, so but nonetheless, he got the lone touchdown, plus the field goal, which they would have had a second field goal, but they missed there towards the end of the game. Again, dude, what were your immediate reactions to our defense, and again the continued success that they had this week?
Defense looks great. It's almost a repeat of last week with the imbalance between the defense and the offense. The defense looks really solid. Witherspoon is still just showing every reason why we drafted him at number 5. And the pass rush is still there. You know, that Dobbs fella did make me nervous a few times. He can actually run when he wants to, but the pressure, he couldn't get away from that pressure that we were putting on him. It's just too bad that, when we hold the other team well with that defense, that the offense is really not coming out there and putting up a whole lot of points to answer that. And there was a few times we didn't capitalize as well, but defense is solid. I'm very excited about that defense.
It was a little disappointing to see that Devin Witherspoon would have had an interception, but unfortunately it got called back due to like 20 different penalties that happened on that play. Watching him this last week again, what a joy, dude! What a treat for us here up in the Pacific Northwest to be able to see our top 5 pick again. Slowly coming out there, man, and making a name for himself in this league.
That guy, man, I remember early on saying that he had references or comparisons to hitting like Cam Chancellor, even though he's not as big as Cam Chancellor. But man, I'm sure it's 2 games in a row we've seen some pretty hard, legitimate legal hits, and he just bounces up pretty good. He can take those hits himself, but man, those are the guys that he's putting them on. I feel really bad for him.
Yeah, I mean, all around our defense definitely had quite the Sunday, Rich. Bobby Wagner, Jordan Brooks, Jamal Adams, Julian Love continues to just come out there, dude, and perform. And again, just showing that our defense is, and I feel like a broken record at this point, but man, our defense is really stepping up after the last couple of years, man. I mean, I really feel that was one of our biggest weaknesses was our defense, throughout the last couple of years. And, damn, it feels good to see them come and be able to perform like that, man.
Yeah, for sure. And we got to just get the offense to come along as well. And that team, that we're looking for is almost there. Defense is just a little ahead of the offense, I guess you could say. Otherwise, it's really, really starting to show. And they haven't even peaked yet. I mean, they're not even in their prime. They're still going to grow together and build together. And that part right there is just pure excitement within itself. So let's just keep a closer eye on the offense now and watch that offensive line, and let's hope they get healthy. And let's root for Gino to have a little bit more. When he has a little bit more time, he can make a little bit better decisions, and maybe people will leave him alone and stop, pointing fingers at him only, because if they really look in depth at everything that's going on, they might have an understanding that, there's a lot that contributes to how well Gino can play.
I thought Gino played really well this last weekend. I mean, he had the one interception in there. But for the most part, I mean, outside of those 2 sacks, it felt like he did have time on Sunday, and he was able to complete a lot of really awesome passes. I mean, Bobo, obviously, and then also our other rookie, which I've been practicing it's Jackson Smith in Jigba. So I've been practicing. I'm trying to get better at it, at the pronunciation of his name there. But both getting touchdowns in the game. Both of our rookie wide receivers. I mean, Jake Bobo was an undrafted dude coming from UCLA. Damn. I mean, what are your thoughts on our rookie wide receivers this past Sunday, Rich?
Yeah, I thought they had a really good game. Obviously paving the way was DK being out, so there was room for more receivers. It's good to see Bobo get in there, and it's good to see Jackson finally have a game where he gets a touchdown. He had at least one. I don't think he got the second one, but Bobo's catch was phenomenal, and I'm glad that they ruled it appropriately. I think that gave Coach 2 challenge wins for the day. And Coach is usually pretty good at the challenges. Very exciting to see those guys get an opportunity, even though it's at the expense of DK being on the sidelines. We didn't really miss him, give him a chance to heal, because those guys held down the fort.
I mean, speaking of DK being off the sidelines, I mean, the penalties, we definitely had a couple penalties in there, but I mean, we weren't getting our normal 15 yards, from DK every week there. So it actually was kind of nice to see him on the sidelines and be able to see the production from the other guys.
For sure. Yeah, I agree. It's a good, sometimes, I don't know, I'm always one that looks for the silver lining. So the negative was DK being on the sidelines, but the silver lining was giving those guys an opportunity and letting them show what they're made of. So
exactly. No, exactly, dude. And it was really good to see both of them get a touchdown. Obviously we had K9 going for over 100. He didn't get the touchdown this week, but he ran for under 105 yards, which is always impressive, given, how, you can't sometimes, obviously it was a rebound from last week when he was basically shut down by the Cincinnati Bengals defensive line. But this week, definitely taking advantage of the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we were well-rounded in a lot of areas. I guess more I think about it, the offense was looking better than the last week, but I still think there's an imbalance of sorts. And, at the end of the day, Gino was spreading the ball around pretty good, and the run game was running pretty good. And I don't know, yeah, like I said, it would have been a good game to be at. My cousin was at that game, and I'm sure he had a great time. So got a lot of fist bumps on my phone from him. So.
Well, hell yeah, Rich Harris. Speaking of the standings, man, obviously we're a day late on the episode here, so we were able to see the San Francisco 49ers go up to Minnesota last night and get stomped out, as the San Francisco 49ers have now lost 2 games in a row. I mean, we go back to our conversation last week, and when we were talking about how the Seahawks, they can definitely take the momentum and run with it if we can string along some wins here and watch San Francisco, choke hopefully to the end of the season.
Yeah, they're definitely they're a team that has vulnerabilities just like any of us, and sometimes it's intimidating when they start out 5-0 or whatever, but you always have to maybe go back and look at the record that they, or the opponents that they had, and the reason why they have that record, or how many points they won each game by. I mean, these last two teams that beat them weren't necessarily better teams. Then obviously the Niners are a better team than them, or they were on paper at the time. But I was watching a lot of that game, and their quarterback, he's really not the greatest. He's just almost as equivalent to a Garoppolo. He's a game manager. He can hold down the fort a little bit, but I don't really think he's the type of guy that's going to take them, to the promised land, so to speak. So he seemed to have some vulnerabilities. I don't know if it's their line or whatnot, and then obviously when they were down Christian McCaffrey, I think he was back last night. The game before that, when he was out, they really showed a different dimension that they were missing by having him out. So they have vulnerabilities just like anybody else. We just got to hope that theirs continue to play a role and that we climb out of ours.
Well, I take back what I said. It wasn't a blowout. San Francisco 49ers did lose, but 17-22. And as I look at the box score, I'll admit it, Rich, I didn't watch the game yesterday, but I did see the score just now. And again, I heard through the grapevine that the 49ers did lose. So I was just assuming that anytime the 49ers lose, hopefully it's a blowout, but just not this case yesterday. But the Vikings, they squeezed one through, that's for sure, dude. So speaking of, upcoming games, we have the Cleveland Browns, who seem to be off to a hot start this year. They're coming in next Sunday, and like you said, you're going to be at that game. It's the game I think we've all been waiting for. The throwback jerseys are going to be all out on parade this coming Sunday at Lumen Field. Rich, what's your immediate thoughts when it comes to Cleveland, what their season so far, and what you're expecting this Sunday?
If I remember correctly, they're the other one that beat the Niners. So, they've got Deshaun Watson. He's back. I guess he was out a week as well. So they've got good dimensions on their team as well, both defense and offense. So we just got to be as strong as we can be, just like any other game, and not just assume that, it's just the Cleveland Browns, or look at their record and think that, they're maybe not as good as us. We got to just be on fire, and we got to go after that win. And this is one of those wins that we really need to get. We should obviously take the teams at home that we can take, especially the ones that maybe aren't as good on paper. I mean, again, it's any given Sunday, but let's take advantage of a team that has a lesser record while we're at home, basically. That's what I look at.
Well, I definitely think the next two starts are going to be tough games, dude, because it feels like the Cleveland Browns, they definitely they are off to a hot start. We'll see what continues on, this coming Sunday here. But then, immediately after that, we're on the road going to Baltimore and to face off against the Ravens. The Ravens are just always they're a team that, yeah, man, they are a good team. So we definitely got to be on the watch out for that. But in terms of this Sunday, I couldn't agree with you more, man. I think we definitely just, we got to come out hot. We gotta keep the offense going. Because I do admit, and that I do see that the offense, it does seem like we do stall out a little bit here and there. I mean, we definitely had a couple drives on Sunday against the Cardinals where you definitely could have had more points on the board at that point. I was happy, obviously, just to see the win. I was just happy that the Cardinals didn't compete as hard as, what possibly could have happened. Again, you just always worst case scenario comes to your mind when, anybody comes in. You don't want to see what happened in week one again. And we just definitely don't want to see that at Lumen Field ever again this season, hopefully. But yeah, man, I'm pumped up for Sunday. Yeah, man, I guess that's all I got for it. Any final words on any final thoughts on this coming Sunday? Anything else going on?
No, I just wanted to point out that it was good that we did get a division win against the Cardinals as well. I kind of overlooked that, and you kind of touched base on that there. So that's all obviously a really good point of getting that win as well. But yeah, otherwise, I'm looking forward to the game, and we got our throwback jerseys coming for ourselves. They haven't got here yet. They're late, and they better get here. That's all I got to say, because I ordered them like 3 weeks ago, and they're delayed. So, yeah, they better get here in time, because we definitely want to sport our jerseys to this game.
Come on, NFL Shop, get your shit together, and come on, United States Postal Service, you can do better. You can do better. Well, all right, ladies.
That's all I got, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that's going to end it for us here on Let's Hawk It Out. Again, we will be back next week after hopefully a win against the Cleveland Browns. But yeah, most likely it'll be a great game, though. So for Rich Harris, I'm Kevin Porter. We'll see you guys next time.
All right.
Dope. Stop.
Can you win a game in the first quarter? No! Can you win a game